Yes, sir. They just grow up so fast, don't they? Not fast enough. Gregory will now be talking a year from now. Look back on all this. Declan, you man. I imagine that it'll get to the point where they don't want me to so much. So, anyway, look at you. You're so handsome.
Hello, beautiful people. I am the eager Declan Rhodes, and that is the incredible
Gregory Rhodes.
Yes, we are back. Thank you so much for joining in and listening if you are. I know it's been a hot minute since we have recorded an episode. I was just looking back at our last episode we recorded and released was on August 23rd, which was 4 months ago. The last episode of the Rhodes Less Traveled that was actually released was October 8th. That was with McKenna and Aiden when I got to talk to them, which was nice. But we just wanted to do one last definite episode of 2020. We have both been very busy in the last 4 months, me with finishing up school with this next semester. You had COVID at one point. You are okay. You are better now, which we are glad and thankful for. But before we get started, as most of you remember, we just like to start out by kind of asking, I like to ask my dad just one kind of quick question before, just to get the ball rolling. And the first question I just have for you is, are you ready for the end of 2020?
Yeah, it's just another year ending to me. I mean, everybody else is saying, oh, 2020 was a mofo or 2020 was a monster. Yeah, we had a few challenges, let's say, as a society, as a country. But it's just another year ending, really, to me, honest to God.
Interesting. I just think that's so interesting just because I guess just, yes, I do see it as another end to a chapter and the beginning of another one. But I think when I am grown and then looking back on my life, I think 2020 will definitely be one for the books, and also two, just one that was filled with so much historical significance of things happening. And I was thinking about last time we recorded, again, would have been October, or the last time we actually sat down and recorded was back in August. And, in between then and now, things have been crazy as well, with a presidential election and, more coverage and updated news of the pandemic. I mean, even now as we're speaking, we finally actually have a vaccine in the United States, which is insane and crazy. And I mean, most of us, if not all of us, didn't even think that would be possible back in, March, when this was really taking physical form and whatnot. So yeah, okay. Well, that's very interesting, I think. I definitely am ready for the end of 2020. As I mentioned before, this year has been filled with so many hardships and challenges, and I think we've both been very lucky and fortunate and privileged to not, being a close-knit family as we are, we still have not, knock on wood, had anyone in our family pass from the virus. And we are very thankful for that. But as the numbers have just kept rising in terms of COVID-19 deaths, it's insane. It's crazy, But we just wanted to take this episode to kind of look back on 2020 and talk about maybe some of the lows, some of the highs, some of the in-betweens, and just kind of catch up and say goodbye to 2020 and hello to 2021. As we mentioned before, this year has been packed full of events, from even in the beginning of the year before the pandemic, or maybe I guess would have been right towards the very beginning of it, with the tragic passing of Kobe Bryant and his daughter and all the people that were in that helicopter. That was just that. I think that was definitely one of the first times this year I remember being in bed, seeing that moment on Twitter, and just having to take a second for myself. And this is coming from someone who is not really a sporty person. I don't watch sports. I played them. I attempted them in my schooling days. And I respect wholeheartedly anyone who pursues them or does them with full gusto. But that's a very big name in the sporting community, and he was monumental for all he did and all his accomplishments and awards. But yeah. So kind of, I guess, getting back on track, what is one thing that has happened this year that made you happy?
Well, I guess one of the biggest things is here at the end of the year, we put our house on the market, and it sold full asking price in 3 days, and it was a journey from then on. From the contract offer, started the journey of house inspections. Our house, the house we were buying, this house, and the recommendations for repairs or upgrades, and so that was the journey, and that was at times hectic, at times disappointing, at times gratifying, but by far most, I guess, that thing or time that I was happy is getting that behind us, because as you will learn one day, buying a house is very stressful, very stressful. So that was a happy time.
Yeah. It is a very surreal thing to be able to, say that we've moved into this new house, and I would say currently still are. We're still getting things situated. But it was a very surreal thing. I remember, kind of just for some context, we were supposed to be out of our house at 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and thankful for so many of the friends and family that were able to help us in those last 19 hours of moving. And I just remember you and Mom had come over here to the new house to bring some stuff over, and I was alone at the old house, and I was just kind of walking through, just looking at everything that was empty, and just reminiscing and thinking about how many I would say monumental things that I felt like just happened in that house. I turned 10 in that house. I found my love for theater in that household. I made so many friends in that house and was able to experience that and share that with two incredible siblings and two amazing parents who were still together in that house. And I guess that's the one word I can say about that. It felt very surreal to be leaving that house. And I don't know how you have felt moving from place to place, but I know that when I was journaling about it later, after we finally got everything out, I just remember writing down that, as sad as it was to leave that house, I am excited that you guys were able to get this so quickly and fast, especially in the economic kind of crisis we are with the pandemic going on. But yeah, so what is one thing that made you not so happy this year, or made you sad? Would you say?
You started off by talking about COVID, and we were fortunate not to lose a family member. And while that was true, family is not always blood. And the pastor who married your mother and I, Reverend Trevas Hall, passed away in a skilled nursing home about 2 weeks ago. Aiden's birthday.
Yeah.
She passed away from COVID, and we got to see her maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Or no, it was right before COVID we got to see her, so it was early in the year. And had we not, we probably wouldn't have got to see her because nursing homes went on lockdown.
Yeah.
And so, but so that was she was. I mean, she was not just our pastor who married us. She was the pastor, the associate pastor at Kingsway United Methodist Church, where your mother and I were members before you guys were long born, and remained members till we moved out here in Ozark in '04. So you were baptized and went to Sunday school there. You were a little baby kid, and then I think McKenna did also, because McKenna was born in 2003. No, she might have went a couple of months because we moved in 2004. But you went there a couple of years, a little more than a couple of years. But anyway, as I ramble, forgive me. She was not just a pastor; she was a mentor, because I met her in college on a float trip. United Wesley Foundation out of Missouri State at the time, years back when I was actually at CMSU in Warrensburg, and the Methodist youth group up there went on a float trip, and we just happened to meet Missouri State on a float trip. They're Wesley Foundation youth, and we met, talked, and it was just one of those friendships, mentorships that just was started, developed, nurtured, really in that one weekend. Because when I transferred to Missouri State, some 2 years later, that was the first thing I did. I mean, more so than go to admissions. Of course, I started that ball rolling via phone from Warrensburg, but as soon as I got on campus, literally the first thing I did was looked up this woman, the Reverend Trevas Hall.
Yeah.
So that was a sad time that I found that out last week.
Yeah. That is
so. Rest in peace, Trevas Hall.
Yes. Yeah. A big rest in peace to her and her loved ones and family.
Yeah.
And sending love and good vibes to all of them. And I do like. Well, before I say that, I will say I had the pleasure of. I specifically remember meeting Treva on, I believe it would have been my confirmation day at Ozark United Methodist Church when I confirmed my faith that day. Because I remember she gifted me with a Bible, and it was a very sweet, very nice thing of her. And I like how you mentioned that, yes, I 100% full-heartedly believe that family is not only blood or biological. And I think that is something that I definitely would not say I took for granted, but I've just come to appreciate more in my final years of university and this year specifically. Having anyone that's listening that knows me, and Dad knows me too, that I'm a very social butterfly. I thrive in a social setting. I feed off of the energy of people. I very much live that way. That is one of my purposes, I feel like, in life, just to be around other human beings. And I have been, very thankful and blessed with having 4 other roommates who, one, not only are also liberal arts majors, but are just kind people, and that I would, consider my family and part of my tribe and whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I've been very thankful, happy about that this year. And you know, even when I think about like my close knit group of friends from high school, who I would still say we're very close today, you know, they are definitely a part of my family, and I can think in my head about, you know, each of the family dynamics that each member of that friendship has to me. So yeah, I love that you said that, and I 100%, 110% agree. What is something that you are proud of in 2020? And if you need a second to think, I have an answer.
No, I'm proud of a couple. I'm proud of a lot of things.
Yeah, anything you've done.
Whether I have acknowledged them thus far or not, but I'm proud of the time I spent with McKenna. Started back in June, Father's Day weekend, I think, or weekend before, when we started making the cornhole board games project we did, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of going through OA ordeal with Aiden and Scouts, and I'm proud, most definitely, of this project you started with this podcast, because not that I didn't have any set connotations or anything about it. Of course, I wanted success for you, but I never stopped to think who and where it could touch. And literally, with the first one that you kicked off and start getting emails and phone calls that you touched, you reached the United Kingdom. Or, you know, I have friends from when I worked at the handicap camp back in St. Louis, so we're talking about 1988. So from 88 to date, of those people that are friends to me, those camp counselors, but like from Europe, England, Singapore, Japan, that
Australia.
Yeah, Australia. That's right, Colleen from Australia, if you're listening. But yeah, so I'm very proud of that. This project you kicked off, and not more so, but overall, absolutely amazed and proud of your accomplishments in college, and the determination and the will and desire to not only start but finish, and finish in what I would consider record time. Because I'm sure you've probably heard by now of your other classmates before and after you, that, or you maybe heard statistics say that, you know, it's really hard. I shouldn't say hard now with online, but when I went to college, it was somewhat hard, if not very hard, for you to do college in 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And granted, you took, you know, at one time you had 21, you know, 20 plus hours.
Multiple times.
You could
Yes.
do that in when I went, but it was just hard to do that. One, you got academic permission, which you have to do still for you, but still, it was just hard.
Yeah.
Financially, and not a lot of people did it in 4 years. If you didn't, that's no big deal. You finished, but just your accomplishment in college, that you will be and going to be the first Rhodes kid, descendant, to start and finish college, and that's super duper proud. Makes a dad pretty excited. Even if me talking right now, it doesn't seem like it, but I'm absolutely positively proud of you.
Yeah, thank you so much. No, I loved all those that you shared with us. I would definitely say, yes, piggybacking off of that, I am very proud of this project that we did, the duo of us, and all the people behind the scenes, you know, from the making of the intro to Joey helping us with the audio. We're even literally using his microphone right now to record this at our new house because he was so off this week. Thank you. Big shout out to Joey. And my friend Kayla helping with the design for the picture, the icon of the podcast. And I am so proud that an idea that I had, I want to say back in December of last year to I would say January of really this year, that I had an idea and I had a goal and I had the want and the drive to do it, and we did it. We did it, and we are doing it. And I think that is so cool. And whether it's symbolic or metaphorical of this year or not, even in the midst of a global pandemic, I think this will be something very cool to look back on and be able to show my kids and all the future Rhodes descendants. I would say another thing I'm very proud of is, I've been very blessed to, I joined, I think I've talked about it a couple times on the podcast, the Spring Vegas sketch comedy group in Springfield, that I am just very proud and blessed to have joined that group and that fellow collection of artists, because comedy itself has been something I've always been very into and very interested in, and just the reason to make people laugh and the want and need to make people laugh has always been something very deeply ingrained in me. And then adding, of course, theatrical performance or any kind of performance, whether any kind of media or visual medium, is something I very much found a deep passion and love for in high school. And being able to kind of meld those two things together and be a part of a team that is, it is a little reminiscent of like Saturday Night Live with the kind of setup and the quick turnaround on memorizing sketches and having rewrites up till the day of. I'm so glad that I have been able to be a part of that. And, I've met some incredible people through it, and it has been something that I've gotten to do with a lot of, I've made new friends, but also just past friends who are on the Missouri State Improv team, and I'm just so glad I get to be a part of that. And, since I will be sticking around here for a little bit after I graduate next May, I hope I can do it again if at all possible. And then, I think another thing I would say I'm definitely proud of is being able to help you guys move into this house. And, like I said earlier, just having family and so many of McKenna and Eden's friends just want to help us.
Yeah,
and,
that was awesome.
It's really cool. Very cool. Yeah. And then I think lastly, another thing I've just definitely been proud of is my newfound love for the app TikTok. It truly has been I would say just revolutionary, and definitely got me through a lot of boredom in the beginning of quarantine, having to stay at home. But I've been very proud of things that I put on that app and been able to share through like Instagram and Facebook, and I love that I can, I always, when I share, videos of me like being characters or whatever, if I ever get like comments or feedback from it, and people are like, oh, thank you so much for like making this or whatever, like this just brightened my day even for a little bit, that is something that just, that in return, even those words of affirmation brighten my day, just because at its core, that is why I want to be a performer and be a person in the world of comedy and performing, because, I, as someone who has dealt with, anxiety and depression, I and have reached, really low points in my life, I love the idea and the feeling of being able to, even if it's just for a second, even if I can crack one smile, I love the idea of, helping human beings in that way. So yeah, that's what I would say. I'm very proud of for this year. And what is something you would say you're ready to leave in 2020, or something, whether it be like a New Year's resolution, or what's something you're ready to see in 2021?
Well, I'm ready to see you graduate. Not that I'm tired of you going to school, but
yes.
I'm again very proud of you. So I'm ready to see the end of that chapter and the beginning of a new chapter. As well with my daughter, McKenna, I'm ready to see her go off to college. I'm not ready to see her go a long ways off to college, which I think she will. But I'm ready to see her in that high school chapter of her life and start her college life. So I'm really excited about that. Excited about Aiden continuing to advance in scouting towards the rank of Eagle as yourself achieved. And just I'm eager to see him get his license in December of 2021. When he turns 16. So eager to see that. Eager to help him and be with him learning how to drive these next few months. So eager to see that in him. Again, earn that privilege to have the right to drive, or the privilege to drive.
Yeah.
Something that I want to take with me from 2020 into 21,
or just if you want to leave it behind, any anything.
Yeah,
it could be anything.
I want to leave the negativeness of us as a society, as a country, as a people, not being able to come together. Do we? Yes, we do. Unfortunately, it seems we do it in times of tragedy, or in times of great strife, be it man-made or be it nature-made, like a tornado or something like that, or a hurricane, and that. But especially the political climate in this country, I'm so ready to leave that behind and wish it would not follow us into 2021.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm a realist. I know it's going to be there with its ugly head rearing in 2021.
Yeah.
But I will leave that behind as much as I can, that I have control over the negativeness of our society. It seems like it's gotten worse, and it gets worse by the hour, the day, and that's really sad. Because if we could come together and stay together as a country, it is unbelievable what we can accomplish.
Yeah.
It is absolutely, positively unbelievable what we can accomplish. And we're missing out on that.
Yeah.
And we're cheating ourselves with that because we don't choose to work together, to live together, to love together, one another. And so leave that, in 2020. What I look forward to in 2021, I mentioned, just basically you three children continuing to excel. I'm excited about that. I'm excited for Mom told me she has a word each year. You're aware of?
Yes.
Yeah. And she just told me tonight coming home that her word for 2021 is focus.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see her grow and utilize and find out the true meaning of that word and how it pertains to her and her family and her friends. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about her. And I do say this. I don't say this as a lazy husband or a man. I'm excited about her helping. Well, I'll help her as can, but make our house, our new house, a home.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that because she's really excited about this move in this house, and so I'm excited for her. I might not seem like I am or show it, but I am. I'm truly bursting at the seams, excited for her, excited for what 2021 beholds.
Yeah. I love that. That's great. Again, to piggyback off of you, I also would say I'm very excited to see myself graduate from college. It's that will definitely be another, I think, very surreal moment, just to be done with education and a school setting for a while. From I joined kindergarten when I was 5, so 17 years later. 17 years! That's insane! That's crazy! Almost 2 decades of school. Gosh, that's insane. When I say it out loud, it sounds so long. I'm definitely ready to graduate, and I'm excited to see McKenna graduate too. I'm excited to see Aiden continue into high school. And I think it's cool. I know you had no intentional planning of this, you or Mom, but that we are all three seem to be in very, good pivotal moments in our lives from one chapter to the next. Aiden starting high school this past fall, and McKenna will graduate as well. And that'll be really exciting. And I have to thank you and give you credit because I have so many. You kind of mentioned this earlier, about having how hard it can be to graduate in 4 years, and with any degree, whether it be in any kind of field. And I have to tip my hat to you that I quote you constantly. I don't even know if you probably could wrap your head around how much I quote you in terms of people saying, "Oh, yeah, I'm not graduating this year, but I'm planning on graduating in 2-3 years, or I will graduate, and I'm graduating this year," and someone's been in college for 10 plus years, and I quote you every single time and say to that person, my dad always says that they don't ask you how long it took you, they just ask you if you finished, which is something I just love to take that piece of advice with me, and I love to lend that piece of advice to other people. And I think when I do, more often than not, more people don't. I just don't think, similar to when you told that to me the first time, I just had never thought about that, or that had never been presented to me. No, they don't care if, or the grand scheme of things, no one cares really how long it took you to be in school. They want to know, did you put in the work, and were you able to finish?
Yeah.
So yeah, I am very excited for that. I am excited for this next chapter of my life to begin and to start. I don't think I had mentioned it on this podcast, but seeing as a lot of the people who listen to this are family or friends of ours, I like to keep them informed and just say that my original plan pre-COVID-19 was to move up to Chicago with a few of my friends from the improv team. One wanting to focus on comedy and music, and one wanting to focus on like TV production and writing for television. And I was planning on focusing on looking for auditions and theater jobs, whether it be theater or television or movies or whatever. And also wanted to look into taking some classes at Second City, where a lot of comedians and people in the world of comedy got their start. Just because I there's no one right way to success, but I think personally I had this idea of a path to it. Unfortunately, the world is in its own little thing right now, so My plans as of now are to graduate in May, and then I will be coming back home. Just to continue to save up money, and because that can't hurt. Can never have too much of that just to save. And eventually I would like to move out there at some point. I should also say that I am very excited to kind of transition from that. I'm very excited for my showcases next semester as well, both for New York Showcase and LA Showcase. I'm excited to finalize and pick scenes for that with my peers and colleagues, and be able to showcase my talent and what I've worked on these past 4 years, of how to feel, how to perform, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I'm excited for that, and just to see, knock on wood, fingers crossed, see what comes of that, if anything should come of that. So yeah, I think one last thing. This is so minimal. I can say I'm very proud of it. I've been very proud of my growth in terms of personal growth. I think just coming to terms more with myself and who I am as a person, and how I want to, identify, or how I want to come off as a person. And again, for people that know me, or who are listening that know me, I am very much which I would say I learned this from you and Mom, just very much of a try to approach things with love and a good heart. And so yeah, I'm very proud in that regard that I've continued down that path. But even again, this small minuscule thing, I'm proud that I've reached a confidence in myself where I paint my fingernails whenever I want to. That again sounds so small or minuscule, but I just think, about, I don't know, 9, 10, 11-year-old Declan Parker Rhodes, and, not feeling that confident, or not feeling that, or I guess rather feeling so insecure that, if I were to even think about doing anything like that, I might be perceived in some kind of way, that one isn't a negative thing, and two isn't something that I should be embarrassed or want to hide, and yeah, so I'm very proud of my personal growth in that, and I can definitely thank a specific pop star by the name of Harry Styles for that that push in the right direction, I think, too. He's a wonderful person, and I would definitely say an idol of mine. So yeah, that's what I'm proud of this year. I think I can't really think of, I guess, any other specific questions this year, or questions for this specific episode. I did want to ask you, looking back on, something else, what's something that, kind of monumental happened this year, maybe for you or someone else that you noticed, or, but I just wanted to point out, like, you and Mom both turning 50 this year.
Yeah.
Which one is monumental in itself, just considering that I don't even know if, when you were first diagnosed, if we even thought that might be a possibility. But again, we are so thankful that was. And I guess what is, turning 50 in October, and looking back on these past few months, and just looking forward towards the future, what are your thoughts on that, would you say?
Turning 50 was, or is, not was, because it's not over. Turning 50 is a great thing, because God has allowed me to live to see 50 years. Mm-hmm. Half a century.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's okay. No more comments. So that's a good thing. I take it one day at a time. Take it one day at a time. Be thankful and am blessed. Be thankful and am blessed to live to see 50. With your mom and I, and to be happy together, because again, that's something else in our society seem like that is not something worth fighting for anymore. And I'm strictly talking about, not to get on the soapbox, but just marriage. Any kind of marriage. It just seemed like people, oh, okay, if it happens, it happens. But worse, it happens, and then, oh, we hit a low road bump, or we hit a little speed bump. It's time to go our own separate ways. Really? Without fighting for it. So, I'm glad. What is neat, moms first started saying it, but now I think of it a lot, and we think we are old enough and have been together long enough that we've known each other half our life.
Yeah.
Because we met at 25 and we were 50.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But, yeah, turn 50 is a good thing. Health-wise, definitely one day at a time. Didn't think I would be, health-wise, I didn't think I'd be where I am today versus 5 years ago. But, hey, that's what happens when you're diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic prostate cancer. So I'm going to start to try to do what I can a little more on taking back my good health that cancer has literally stripped away from me.
Yeah.
The things I could do. I mean, for goodness sakes, I was in the military and very active physically, and just the regiment and the physical agility and physical fitness that you had to be at every level, every age. And 5 years ago at 44, I was kicking it in the butt. I was doing it. And today I can't do that, but I'm going to start to try. It's not a resolution. It's not a New Year's resolution. It's just something that I know I want to do, and something I know I need to do, and so I'm going to do it. So excited about that. To get that health back, that good health back. It can be done. It will be done.
Yeah.
And that's what 2020 and turning 50. You said monumental or whatever things that happen, or how do I feel about or affected? I guess she was asking. The biggest, unfortunately, is the stain of the Floyd killing.
Yeah.
That rejuvenated, caused a mass gathering, just as the Michael Brown killing in 2014 did, but this one was on a different level.
Yeah.
It was when this one happened and started, you could tell that it was a different atmosphere out there, that people, right, wrong, good, bad, negative, positive, people came together with a common goal. And that was the goal to say and to demonstrate is, this is enough. We will not be quiet anymore. And when you hear that from black people, should I be happy? Absolutely. Should I be motivated? Absolutely. And should I be proud? Absolutely. And was I those things? Yes. But as the demonstrations, the marches, and the rioting progressed, the ugliness of the rioting and the not coming together in a sense of what we could accomplish. Because I mean, again, those are some powerful words and images that were displayed during that this spring again. Because it was like, we will not be quiet any longer. Mm-hmm. We will not take this line down. That's very powerful statements and demonstrations. As was the marches and the speeches during Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s era. But where are we at December 30th, 2020 with all that? Where are we as a people, as a society? Surely not where I thought we'd be. I thought so. Going forward, I hope we don't forget, and that there are things in the works that has been started. Now I know there are some things, but I hope on a grand scale that there are things that's being worked out and negotiated and planned, that we aren't going to be silent anymore. We're not going to take this line down, but at the same time, we're going to work together.
Yeah.
We're going to work together, all color.
Yeah.
Black, white, purple, orange, green, brown, all. Because all lives matter. All lives, not just Black lives matter. And I don't want to take anything away from Black lives. But for me, just deep down inside, I like to think, or I know, I feel, all lives matter. And when all lives matter, we won't have just one group needing to voice, needing protection, needing constitutional laws to protect them. Because if my white friend life is just as important as my life, then that's gravy. Mm-hmm. That's gravy.
Yeah. And I think this kind of touches on our specific episode where we talked about the George Floyd riots and how we can't get to that. Yeah. All right. Yes, I think we had talked about we can't get to the all lives matter fully until Black Lives Matter. And I think it is interesting that you say, looking here at December 30th, 2020, how where are we, and not being where you thought we would be by this point. And I'm just thinking about when I'm 50 years old, I would be 2051. Where are we going to be then? And I think I can say confidently, and agree with you, that there has definitely been somewhat of another, I would say, culture shift, and yes. More is being talked about, and I think I have reached the point and understanding that it does go deep enough that it's gonna take it's gonna take time. It is gonna take time. I think, especially with this year, how trying to educate myself more on Black issues and racial issues. Just slavery was not something that, or I think a lot of people like to think it was so long ago, and in the grand scheme of things, if you look at from where humans started and where we are now. It really wasn't. It really wasn't. It is going to take generations of, healing and psychological thought, I think, for people to recognize their own internal prejudices that,
Right.
they haven't been able to address. I kind of getting off topic, rambling for a second. I had a friend that towards the middle of the summer reached out to me and, was talking to me about, things he had said to another black friend of his and how he felt bad about that. And he had never thought about how that could impact them or what that was like for them, because he had never even just thought about being in their shoes, And, I'm glad, I think that my generation definitely wants to continue that on of, accepting diversity and accepting other cultural viewpoints. But with that said, the work is not done. And, even, there was the George. And I think another crazy thing was, like, in such a short span, there was, like, 3 significant... Ooh. minor false alarm. 3 very significant instances of the George Floyd, the Breonna Taylor, the man running who was chased and shot at. I'm forgetting his name. I think it started with an A, I believe.
In Georgia, where the house, they was looking at houses or something, where he was looking at houses and they chased him down, and the guy who shot and killed him was a retired law enforcement guy. Is that one you're talking about?
I think this might be different. I'm talking about a guy that was literally just on, like, a jog. He was running.
Yeah. We're talking about the same thing.
Oh, okay, okay.
We're talking about the same thing. But yeah. He didn't do anything.
His name was, I don't want to say Abdul, but I know it started with an A.
Yeah.
Or had an A in it. Yeah. And I think it was just, back to back to back. And the fact there was, video 2 out of 3 of those. It was and it is still a lot. I just saw most recently on Twitter, I think it was yesterday, that the officers who shot and killed Tamir Rice were not charged or convicted. And just for that little context, it was Tamir was the 12-year-old boy who had a fake toy gun, and he was shot and killed. And so, it's not where we want it to be, but we are slowly but surely trying to make positive change. Kind of trying to end on a more upbeat, positive note. What is something, doesn't have to be just this week, something in 2020 that you are thankful for, or something in 2021 that you will be thankful for, you think?
Well, again, because it's a big thing, I guess, buying a house, selling the house, with this new house that we got, other than having a flat driveway, which is just incredible, and I say I'm excited about Mom making our house a home, about you graduating college, McKenna starting college, Aiden continuing to advance in Boy Scouts, and his high school transition. Excited about all those things, but I am super duper superbly excited about having a flat driveway after 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years of not having a flat driveway. Absolutely excited about that. And then a little extra special, this house that we bought came with a shop. I have a shop. And I'm excited about getting that shop set up and organized like I want it, for my tools and my machinery and stuff, so I can just go out there and tinker.
Yeah.
I just, that's something I enjoyed, fixing bikes and building bikes when I was little, doing things with my hand and seeing the result. I'm actually doing it and then seeing the result of what I did. But yeah, so I'm excited, extremely excited about going out there and just tinker around. You know, if I find a car or something to work on or fix up or just work on and not ever, it never runs, but just to go out there and tinker. I'm super duper excited about that.
That's awesome.
Got me a shop, and to go out there and tinker, fix things that need to be fixed, repair things that need to be repaired, update things that need to be updated, and just get out there and tinker around. I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
I really am. I know a lot of people are like, well, okay, but for me, it's I'm excited about that.
Yeah, good. No, yeah. You should be. You deserve it. I am very thankful. You know, we've kind of already touched on it. I'm thankful for this year teaching me, or I guess helping me be more appreciative of time face to face with people. Having not been able to really do that with a lot of people. And, you know, I will be thankful next year when there is more vaccines being distributed, and soon this nightmare can come to its slow but sure end. And yeah, I am definitely very thankful for my last semester of college, these past 4 years, having, you know, making memories and friends that will last the rest of my life. So yeah, that's what I'm thankful for. I think that is it for our season, series, whatever, in 2020, the year 2020. We started this podcast on Father's Day 2020, and this is our last episode of 2020. I haven't decided if I'm going to put this out either tomorrow or on Sunday, which would be 2021. I think I might do tomorrow. So, you know, if you're listening to this not in 2020, we want to say hello and welcome to 2021.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We are wishing the best and sending you all love and good vibes and so many positive feelings. So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on this journey with us, and we hope to see you next year. And yeah, you can check us out on Instagram at the Rhodes Less Traveled with 1 L. We're also on TikTok and Facebook. Share with your friends, tell your friends. Yeah, thank you guys so much. We love you. Goodbye.
Thank you. God bless.